Hello, my name is Paula Deming, and I will be GMing an Adventure Presents prologue to the RPG Tiny in the Tower, a story called The Burglar of Brackwood. And we hope you enjoy watching with us. We have a wonderful group of players here, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves quickly before we just get into playing the game and forget that any of y'all are here on YouTube even watching us. So, Suzanne, why don't you start?
Hi, everybody. My name is Suzanne Sheldon. I'll be playing Anaconda, the fighter with a background in crocodile wrestling. Yeah. And I'm really excited to be part of the game. Thanks for having me.
Danny.
Hey y'all, my name is Danny, and I will be playing Pookie Ookie the Witch, who is a chef that actually has a weird rumor going on around about him that the soup that I made is a little poisonous, and I'm trying to prove to people that the soup is delicious and not poisonous.
And Mandi.
Hey everyone, I'm Mandi, and I'll be playing Kataran. I am the knight of the group. I'm probably the one that's going to ask the most questions because I feel like I'm new-ish to this whole thing, but I kind of know what I'm doing, so just go with it. So very cool, I'm very excited, and I have a very protective role, so can't wait to see what develops.
And Ross.
Hey folks, I'm Ross. I'm playing Bobby Watch-a-lot, who is like a scouty kind of sneaking around spy character, an orphan, grew up being real quiet, and is also named after my puppy. So there you go.
Also, you're Squash.
Also, yeah, I've not got a great imagination for names, it would seem. It's just that everyone's called Bobby is what we're realizing. But no, Squash, dog, broke. Scout, Bobby.
So you are a group of adventurers who have arrived at a town to investigate a series of thefts that have been happening. So that is what you are all doing together. It's how you know each other. You already have been working together as adventurers, kind of freelancers going around from town to town. A couple of things before we start that I want to remind everyone is, of course, about the pause. Now, this is an all ages RPG that we are about to play. This storyline is meant for all ages. We're going to keep things about PG probably, but if anything at all comes up during the game that you feel like you need a pause, you need a break, you're not comfortable with, just raise your hand and we will all stop. We will either retcon something if we need to. We will just move past an issue if it's a topic we don't want to talk about, or we can do things like, hey, I just need a break and then I can come back to this, or this is fine, but I need whatever just happened to have negative consequences for the person to do it. You can express yourself in this moment however feels right to you, and we as all of the players will absolutely respect that. So I want to remind everyone that we have that pause if you need it, and don't be afraid to use it if you do. Hopefully we won't, but you don't know what might come up, so it's there for us. What else? Don't forget that your characters have drives. And actually, if you're interested, it might be good to go around and talk about what all of your drives are. Now, this is a way you can get resolve. Resolve is your strength of will for your character in this game, and it can be spent to push a skill check. If you're rolling dice and you want to give yourself an extra die roll to add to your total, you can push yourself by spending a point of resolve. You can also take a last stand if you're really desperate to make something work. You go, I'm going to spend all of my resolve. I'm going to go down to 0. I'm going to guarantee a success in the thing I'm doing, but it's going to also cause me to fall unconscious. That can be done once per chapter. But the way you can gain more resolve is if you make an action that supports one of your 3 drives that you currently have as your characters. And I think it'd be interesting if we quickly went through and said what everyone's drives were, if you're okay with that, unless you all want to keep something a secret, because it might help us all be able to set each other up a little better potentially for ways for you to be able to pursue that drive. So why don't we just go back in the order we went in when we did our introduction. So Suzanne, you want to talk about your drives?
Definitely. So Anna is a pretty basic creature, and she, why talk when you can use your fists? We were given fists for a reason. So my drives are bruiser, solve a problem using your fists, show off, impress others with your strength, because I am quite strong. Thank you very much. And I have a competitive drive. So I want to do the most damage in a brawl. So Anna, simple but effective.
On the flip side, Pookie Ookie is all about love and kindness, even though he has that weird rumor going around. And the drives I have are woodsy, which I enjoy nature to the fullest. So you'll always see Pookie Ookie walking around barefoot and just smelling the flowers and being one with nature. Pookie Ookie is also kind. They like to help animals out there, whether it's a pet or a wild animal. Pookie Ookie will always try to connect with them, and they are also optimistic. So I, unlike Anaconda, like to give someone the benefit of the doubt and listen to them maybe before the fists come out,
All right, and how about?
And I just really enjoyed the fact that you used the name at the beginning of every sentence, like Pookie Ookie is. I think you clearly just enjoy saying Pookie Ookie, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, sometimes Pookie Ookie likes to talk in third person just because.
It's amazing. No one ever seems to forget Pookie Ookie's name, and I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, it's
such a run-of-the-mill name.
And how about Mandi? How about you?
All right, so my character Cat Aran has a very strong sense of right and wrong, so very decisive on those things. My drives are to be protective, defend someone who's vulnerable, courageous, put yourself at risk to do what is right. So this is all in line with my character. And strong, help the weak using your strength. So I don't necessarily know, is that like physical strength or mental strength or both? I don't know.
Feel like you could argue it either way potentially,
okay.
And then I'll decide in the moment.
Okay, that works.
And Bobby, watch a lot.
So Bobby is resourceful. So they like to find inventive ways to come up with solutions for stuff. Sneaky. So I'll be creeping around in the shadows where possible. A bit of a chancer as well. Totally against my personality to bluff their way out of a situation. I'm very well prepared for this RPG, so I'll only be using that skill in game.
Just bluffing everything.
Bluffing, yeah.
Fake it till you make it. Let's see. Is there anything else about the game? We've talked about that. Don't need to worry about that. I think we're good. Okay, so if y'all are ready, we'll begin our story. Just pull up.
I literally have a hair that's like in my eye, like it's driving me bananas. I'm like, where is it? I'm gonna pull it out.
I also have a hair that's in my face.
Well, yeah. Oh, Ross, and your glorious crown.
All right. A woman with a bun pulled tight, big glasses, upset look on her face, is writing a letter. To whom it may concern, Brackwood Village Council humbly request the assistance of several adventurers of good character and standing in a matter of grave concern. The good people of Brackwood have been terrorized in the night 3 times now by a heinous thief who remains at large. We must stress that Brackwood is a nice village, and this sort of thing doesn't usually happen in the locale. Of particular concern is the damage caused to the premises of renowned local seamstress Prudence Loom, though, of course, the well-being of all of Brackwood's villagers is of equal import. The third theft happened right under the council's noses. She crosses that line out. A local watch has proven ineffectual. She crosses that line out. Your prompt assistance in this manner would be greatly appreciated. Warm regards, Prudence Loom, on behalf of the Brackwood Village Council. She seals the letter. She sends it out. This is the letter that you, your adventuring group, have received that has brought you to the village of Brackwood. I'm going to share it with you. It's here. So hopefully you're seeing that so you can read for yourself if you'd like.
Excellent.
So that's the letter you've received. You have now shown up to Brackwood ready to investigate and see if you can be of assistance in figuring out who this thief is. Now I'm going to show you. So as you walk into, just pulling up what is the one I want? This one. There you go. So as you approach the village, this is what it looks like here. It is a small village consisting of 12 thatched roof houses scattered across crooked crossroads. Towards the east of Brackwood, you can see on the right hand of our image here is a dense forest. And just north of the village is a small farm. As you enter town, a woman is there to greet you. I want to show you her as well. There she is. She has a kind, calm face. You can see the wrinkles showing her years. Around her is a faint aroma of herbs. She's draped in a shawl. She's got, a hat with some flowers. She looks like whimsically earthy. Hello, you must be the adventurers who have answered our letter. My name is Betty Heather. Thank you so much for answering the call and coming to our aid.
Uki would kind of saunter up to Betty and just eyes closed, just breathing in the aroma of Betty. And it's like, Miss Betty, what is that smell of yours?
Oh, I enjoy tea very much, and so I'm just always in my garden with my herbs, and then I have this lovely little area in the back of my house where I dry all of the herbs, and it's my favorite part of the house. I spend a lot of time there, and I suppose that sometimes the scent of it can just cling to me.
I think I'm catching notes of marjoram.
What? That is quite the perceptive nose you have. What? I'm sorry. What is your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Pookie Uki.
Mr. Uki. Oh, Pookie Uki. Miss. How would you like me to call you?
I prefer the whole Pookie Uki.
Pookie Uki.
Pookie.
It's so nice. Thank you so much. Maybe we can share a cup of tea once all of this is over.
So meanwhile, Anna is like, doesn't have a lot of patience for this. And one, we got a job to do. And two, Anna's really hungry. So, Anna's looking around, kind of taking in the sights, getting a lay of the land. And then she's like, Miss Betty, it's nice to meet you. And we're here to help. But you got like You got some snacks? Like, where'd you get that tea? Can we get like some biscuits there or something like that before we try to figure out what's going on here?
Oh, well, I do have some food back at my cottage. We could go there. Now, I have been sent, however, to take you directly to Prudence Loom, who wrote the letter that you all received. She would like to instruct you, but I guess it's up to all of you. We could go to my home first and have a snack and some tea before we get started. Prudence might not like it, but if that's what you are the ones doing the investigating, so.
At this point, Bobby Watchalot is going to quietly like slink off to one side, just slightly out of sight, and is going to be following the group so they can do a little bit of sleuthy spying, whilst everyone else is carrying on with things. So just going to be like drifting off into the shadows a bit.
Okay. And you've got like a cloak that can kind of help you with that, right?
Yeah, so I'm good in shadowy spaces. I've got a good old cloak that I can hide in. And one of my drives is being sneaky. I love a good sneak. So straight away, I'm like, this sounds like an opportunity to be checking out the garden and the property.
How successful you are at whether or not Betty notices
sneaking
what
out.
you're doing here, whether or not you're being actually sneaky. So your cloak, now I don't know how shadowy the town is, but I do think you could be a bit incognito. What would you? Yes.
Oh, those trees. We just came out of some trees, right?
Fair.
On our way into the town, right? Drift back into those
what?
trees.
All right, you're in the shadows of the trees on the outskirts of town. Sure. So why don't you roll wits, and you can gain an extra level when you do that because of your silken cloak.
So I'll be rolling 3d6. That's how I'll be rolling my wits. My wits are only 2. I'm not the sharpest knife, but I got my cloak on, right?
You've got your cloak on, so you can have a level of 3 with that.
So I can have a level
roll
of 3.
All 3.
And I'm rolling all 3 right now.
Discard the lowest value of that you roll, and then add the other 2 together and tell us what you get.
So I got 5, which isn't the sneakiest of sneaks.
As you just kind of notice, Betty just kind of as she's looking at everyone saying, well, we could go. Prudence might be mad, and then she just kind of gives you a look like, and then she, Pukiyuki, can you, is that one with you as well?
And Pukiyuki kind of turns around and looks at Bobby and goes,
Bobby kind of realizes that maybe this old lady's a little sharper than she initially appeared, and maybe she shouldn't have underestimated the lady quite as much, and thinking just on a pathway could just really casually like drift off into the shadow.
And Pukiyuki turns back to Betty and is like, I don't think our friend Bobby likes the smell of marjoram.
Oh,
don't take offense. He doesn't like the smell of a lot of things.
I'm not offended. Many people in the town actually don't like the smell of marjoram, but so it's fine. I'm used to it, but as long as you're sure they can be trusted.
Oh, yes. I mean, I know he looks sleuthy and he's always in the shadows and he probably is giving you glares and he might say some really shady things, but he's a hoot.
Bobby tries to give a friendly look, but it just seems like a deep level of mistrust is coming out of their eyes. Can't really hide it.
Cataran.
I'll give you one more. I'll let you. That's a failed attempt at your drive, but so I'll let you mark that box off, and you can give yourself 2 points of resolve for failing it.
Thank you very much. So, with just to remind me, with drive, how often can I attempt to use that drive?
Once per chapter. So that's I mean, you can obviously still be sneaky and stealthy. You cannot earn more resolve for doing it.
It was a low risk situation to be sneaky. I've gained 2 resolve. That's okay.
Yeah. And you can obviously still be sneaky. You just won't gain anything from it.
Apparently I can't.
Well, you can attempt to still be sneaky. Kat, did you have?
So Kat is taking this all in. not rolling the eyes, but like, okay, let's get a move on. Kat wants to get down to business and has determined that, hey, I'm going to have to be the babysitter of the group, so to speak. So I kind of jump in. Hey, all, we have things to do. Some of us are going to be a little stronger out here. We got to keep an eye out for each other. I just want to get to it. No tea. That's not my jam. Literally not my jam. So we are going to go.
Betty goes, oh, that was, I like you. Yes.
So I just want to get to business. I want to know what's going on. Stop fooling around, everybody. Let's get to business. What's happening? What's going on? I'm not sure about Betty. Think Betty's a little soft, but we can work on that.
Well, so where I can certainly fill you in on some details as we go to Prudence's house. Is that what we've all decided, or should we go to my cottage first?
Maybe Prudence will have some snacks. Let's go to Prudence's house.
All right. So Betty begins to lead you up the kind of up the path. Prudence's place is right in the middle of town. So as you're walking on your way there, Betty begins to fill you in on what's been going on. Well, there have been 3 thefts over the last 3 nights. We did set up a watch and it didn't really seem to help. And so that's what motivated Prudence to send the letter and ask for help. I wasn't very concerned. I'd heard about, thefts happening, the first night and the second night. And I wasn't really concerned. I certainly don't own anything that anyone would want to steal. But the third night, I heard some crashing noises coming from my own kitchen, and I went downstairs to look, and a thief had been in my home too. And at some point we can go there. I can show you what happened. The worst thing really is that they broke my door. So perhaps after you speak to Prudence, maybe you all look strong. You look strong, Anaconda, but perhaps you could help fix my door. I'm just an old woman and I can't do it myself. But
now, did the thief steal your marjoram?
No, did not steal my marjoram, but they did steal a bag of thorn apple pods that I had on the floor just right next to the door. And I know that the shawl I have on right now is lovely. It's like a peach color. It's got like a little shimmer to it. She's like, it's my second favorite shawl. Would have liked to have met you all with my first favorite shawl, but the thief stole that as well. It's a lilac shawl. It also has a bit of shimmer. I love shimmer in my clothes. She's like wrapping
Miss
herself
Betty,
in them.
I know you like to talk about your shawls, but can you tell us about what other maybe food items that have been stolen?
Oh, well, for me, just the thorn apple pods. You'll have to speak with Prudence and Juniper about what happened to them, but I will take you to everyone. I am here to escort you, and we will get you all the information you need. And
Kat
thank you. I'm worried.
Interrupts.
Oh, yes.
And says, I don't think we're going to get very far until we eat, but I do have some questions. Where is this food sourced that we're going to eat? Was this through the government? Was this through the people that are through the lands that are providing this food, or did you grow it yourself? We just want to make sure that we're all healthy and safe.
Oh, well, everything that we have here for the most part is locally sourced. Juniper has a farm, and like I said, we'll go there later. But much of our food in the village, comes from Juniper's farm, and I'm sure. I honestly, I wasn't expecting you all to ask for food just immediately upon arrival. But I'm sure we can scrape something together. I'm sure that we can. You just might need to give me a moment to find something in the cupboards.
We need our strength, so that would be very much appreciated. And I don't mind tasting it first. I'll take one for the group to make sure that everything's good.
Oh, you get in line, Kat.
Well, I can assure you our food is safe. I mean, no one's, we've had no poisoning incidences here or
Yeah, I wish
or
we
anything
could
of
say
that
the
nature.
same.
Betty's eyes go a little bit wide and go, really, we're just concerned for the safety of all of our villagers. Oh, look,
Pukiyuki kind of scratches their head and it's like, I'm sorry. I've been feeding them mushroom jerky for the past 3 days as we made our way over here, so they're a little hungry, if you can't tell.
I had begun to notice. Well,
So
here
is there
we
anything
are.
at Prudence's that I can fix too? Because it's been like, I haven't really had a chance to, get my calisthenics in. So
Well, we've arrived here at Prudence's, so we'll have to see what Prudence. Maybe she has something for you to fix. We'll have to ask her. And you arrive at Prudence Loom's sewing room. So it is the shop in the center of town. Prudence lives in the flat upstairs, and you see her waiting outside, impatiently tapping her foot. She has her hair pulled back tightly into that bun, her large glasses. She's got, like the pin cushion on her wrist. Let me show you what she looks like. Her taffeta gown there that you see, it's pristine. I mean, this is a put together lady who is all about, things being the right thing in its place. Everything's neat, everything's organized, nothing out of order. She goes, well, it is about time that you all arrived here. I could see you down the street just talking to Betty for 10 minutes. You were meant to bring them straight to me, Betty. Oh, Prudence, we had to do introductions and everything, but they're here now and they're ready. They are hungry. Prudence, we do not have time to eat. There is a thief among us and we must get to the bottom of it. So come inside. And she just goes into her shop without even like waiting for any of you to introduce yourselves, to say anything. She's not giving you the chance to interject in any way.
Kat is narrowing her eyes in scrutiny because Kat has some issues with authority, especially authority that's kind of mean. So I'm keeping a close eye.
Uki's trying to look around to see where Bobby is at. Is Bobby still trying to sleuth behind us?
Bobby's just kind of like staying off to one side, but still with the group at the minute. There doesn't seem to be any excellent sneaking opportunities going on. There's still a little bit burned from their previous attempt at stealing, but in their defense, they are also really hungry. So their stomach probably rumbled when they were trying to sneak away, and that just gave away the whole thing, right?
Prudence sweeps into her downstairs and says, now I live in the upstairs flat, but down here is my sewing room. And I assure you, I have not touched anything in here since the incident. So if you would like to investigate the scene of the crime, nothing has changed. As you all enter her sewing room, you can see that it's littered with sewing supplies. There's a heavy table in the middle of the floor, like a cutting table, that is on its side. It's been toppled over. There is an undressed mannequin on the floor, lying amongst a few broken candles. She also has, there's just like an open drawer that also seems to have a few candles left inside of it, but looks very much like that used to be like a storage place for them, and now there's only a couple in there.
Well, Anna's just gonna start Anna just kind of like strolls in and just starts looking around, just starts picking stuff up. Just like, well, yeah, looks like a big mannequin. There's good heft on that mannequin. It's nice form. It's probably real good for you. Yeah. And just like got some candles there. Starts like rifling through whatever she can, find there. Just, basically bull china shop.
Whilst that's happening, Bobby's going to be like
investigating
on the edges, just like casually trying to open cupboards and closets and things like that, just trying to see what's going on in the background whilst everyone's distracted by the Anaconda show.
Great. Bobby, why don't you so you're doing like you're doing like an in good faith kind of investigation, right?
Let's say that, yeah. Let's say it's in good faith.
Okay. And then Anna, would you say that your investigation is more for show, or are you
No,
you put investigation in quotes? Are you literally, how much are you really looking, like genuinely looking for clues here?
I mean, I'm genuinely looking for snacks, but I am genuinely trying to help. Like, I'm definitely like looking for stuff. Like, I'm not here, like, I'm not sabotaging, I'm not destroying
Right.
things, but I'm like, I'm looking, and if a bag of trips shows up by accident, not gonna fight that.
Awesome. Why don't both of you make a wits roll?
That's not good. Ooh. All right, I go 8 on mine.
I've got to take something off, and I've forgotten.
I only
What do
have
I
a level
lose?
1 wits, but my roll was not terrible, so.
I got
Okay.
6.
Okay.
I did better than our witty one. Who's the wit one now?
I'm agile. My wits aren't so great. I'm not here for personality. I'm just here for my quiet, watchful eyes of scorn.
So as you are looking at these items, Bobby, you notice that as you're seeing, as you're opening cabinets and looking around, you're seeing some of the candles that are still on the floor, and they seem to have just like marks on them, like damage done to them. And Anna, as you are picking up the mannequin, you also notice that there are marks on the mannequin, and your knowledge actually of animals, you think these look a lot like teeth marks, maybe almost like something like a bear. That would match like the bite marks of a bear. And as this is all happening, Prudence says, well, don't you have questions to ask me about what happened, or should I just launch into it?
This whole time, Pookie Ookie was kind of standing and kind of like pantomiming what Prudence was doing and like the mannerisms and like looking around. It's like, Prudence, how are you doing today?
I'm upset today. I think it's very clear that I'm upset. This is my sacred workspace. This is my home. And as you can see, someone has come in and violated that. But hold on. I want to see how much she if she notices.
Roll for what notices the mockery.
If she's noticing whether that you're kind of that you're miming, she does not notice. She's too caught up in her own deal to really be fully taking in that you're kind of mimicking everything that she's doing.
Bobby's going to shoot Pookie Ookie a bit of a look, like, what are you doing?
Listen, the second night of all of this has happened over the course of 3 nights. And on the second night, I awoke to loud noises here in my sewing room. Now I hurried down, and look, this is what I found. My table is toppled. My mannequin had a beautiful purple dress on it. Do you see that now? No, it's gone. It's been stolen. My candles that helped me. Do you think I'm normally like this? No, of course not. I liked my candles, and they helped me feel calm. Well, those candles have been stolen. How could I possibly feel calm? And then the culprit was still in the room when I came down here. And I said, no, shoo, get out of here. And they left. And then I saw a snarling mouth full of my candles. And then I screamed and the rest of the villagers came running to help me. And now you know it all.
Cat saunters over with a slow clap, just like this. Well done. Okay, so walks over, gets very close to Prudence. And are you always this dramatic? Is this a thing that you do? Who are you? Who are you? What is your role here?
I am Prudence Loom.
Uh-huh.
I have the shop in the center of town, and I feel like that should tell you everything you need to know about me.
It sure doesn't. So, with that being said, tell me again, why are we here? Why are we helping you? You seem to think you're very important and we want to do the right thing and help the town. Who are you? What are we doing here?
At this point, Betty, who's still there on the side, kind of pipes up and says, "Well, really, you're here to help the whole village. Now, I know Prudence is upset, rightfully so, about everything that's been going on, but she did write the letter on behalf of the whole town, and I have had I've been terrorized by this thief, and Juniper, also, who you'll meet eventually, has also suffered under the hands of this thief, and really we're concerned. We're concerned for the safety of the villagers. A monster with a mouthful of candles was here. My door is broken off, and we're hoping that perhaps you can figure out who is doing this and why, and protect us all." And Prudence goes, "Yes, quite that."
So Anna is, listening, but looking around, and she picks up the mannequin and kind of smells it. And then she licks it. And then she kind of like tries to gnaw on it a little bit. Cause hey team,
Anna, that's not a corn cob.
I didn't know. Maybe it tastes good because something was chewing on this. Like these things right here. I think maybe a bear or something might have been chewing on this. Cause see these marks here, and I don't know if they're the same on those candles over there that Bobby has, but these are definitely teeth marks. And I thought maybe it tasted good, but it doesn't taste good. So I'm not sure why it was eating the mannequin. Maybe
Cat
that's why they didn't eat it and they just like tasted it and moved on.
Cat walks over, good job, and kind of takes a little cloth and wipes Anna's mouth and says, "Okay, great job. Glad you were able to help out. Good, go team." And ask the team,
Cat.
what do we think? Yeah, no problem. I mean, we're in this together and we've got to take care of each other. So what do we think happened here? Now I really want to get into it.
What is it when Anna was biting this mannequin? What was Prudence doing? Like, was Prudence just like, this is normal, or?
Prudence is like, and Betty actually leaned over and said, "They've been talking incessantly about food." And Prudence just looking and goes, "Clearly, you all will not be able to focus until you go to Betty's house and be fed some sort of snack. So I think that's where you should go next. But listen to me. I demand that you find this thief, slay this monster, and return my items to me in pristine condition. That purple dress took me weeks to sew."
And right when Prudence says pristine, like Anna accidentally drops the mannequin with a really loud thump right on the floor.
"Out! Get them out! Go! Investigate! Get out of my house!" Betty's like, "I think we've gotten what we need here. Come with me, please. Okay, come.
And as we're leaving, Cat is saying, "I've got my eye on you," to Prudence.
She sets her contaminating the crime scene. Yeah, and Betty goes, "Well, that's Prudence. Why don't we go to my home now? I can show you the door, and we'll have some tea. I think that will be best."
Yeah, and on the walk over, I think Pukiyuki wants to just chit chat with Betty,
Mhm.
and is like, Miss Betty, you kept saying thief, and then Prudence doing all this thing. Very animated that one.
She
Kept
is.
saying
She really is.
monster.
She's kind of an artsy type, really.
Yeah. But you said thief. She said monster or beast. Have you ever had anything like that in this town before?
Oh no, this sort of thing really never happens here. It's we live a quiet, peaceful life. You're actually the first adventuring group we've ever had. They don't even usually travel through, even as an overnight stop. We're very boring, really. Just calm,
And
quaint.
Anna shouts over her shoulder because she's walking along and she goes, maybe they don't stop by because you don't have enough snacks around. Just keeps on walking.
Really thought adventuring teams brought their own rations with them, but we are happy you are here to help us, and we will give you appropriate compensation. And really, I love sharing my tea. So, all right. So, what? Any other thoughts? Things you want to ask? Conversations you want to have before we arrive at Betty's home?
Anna's not really a talker, but she's definitely looking around the path and looking at the buildings and looking at like the barrels that are just kind of next to some houses and the little garden fences that are around and people's little front yard gardens and flowers and whatever they have going on. And it's just kind of keeping her eye open for anything. She knows, like, you know, she knows what a crocodile looks like and she knows what a bear looks like. And so she's definitely intrigued by the marks that were there and kind of curious about like the candle. It's in wax, and then like this weird Prudence lady that's so uptight that, oh yeah, Pookie Ookie's hilarious, by the way. She's so fixated on the purple, and I think that you know, this much nicer but still snackless Betty is also mentioned something about like a lilac shawl, which I think is a fancy word for purple. I don't know. I don't really care. It's all purple, but like I don't know anything about a bear that really likes purple stuff, but I'm not discounting it. But yeah, she's just kind of listening and looking around.
So as we approach Betty's cottage, it's here on the left side of our map, with this kind of beautiful pink tree behind it. It's on the west edge of Brackwood. So you've walked kind of through town to get to it. And as you approach, you see the front door that was made of sturdy oak wood, but this is the door that Betty is hoping that you will fix. There's a giant crack down the middle of it, and as you get closer you can see that it's stuck in its frame. There's no getting in and out of that door that way. She goes, well, this is the door I'm hoping perhaps you can help me fix. Now it's up to you. We can go around the back and we can have tea and talk a little bit about what happened here with me.
Yeah, so Anna just walks right up to the door and like sizes it up and then just rears back and bam, slams it like right where the crack is, like just slams it with her like full force in there.
Okay, do a toughness test, please.
That is an 8.
Great. So you rear back, you shove your shoulder right up against it, and just with a loud, I mean, just the loudest thwack any of you have ever heard, Anna just rams right into that door, and it pushes it open, where it falls completely off of its hinges, and Betty goes, "Oh,
I got your door open, Miss Betty.
We can go in this way now. We won't be able to close it behind us, though, of course."
Well, yeah, so Anna picks up like the pieces that fell down, just picks it up and kind of, angles it and pulls it out and props it up to the side and says, "Get some glue. We'll get you covered."
Does anyone else want to take a look at this door in any way or attempt to help Anna in this fixing?
Kat can jump in and ask, do you have any tools or anything that I can use to maybe get this door, back on its hinges? Anna, you've done a great effort. We're going to go with that. You've done a
Thanks,
great
Kat.
job there. And maybe we'll use your strength for other things. But for right now, I think we need to maybe just work it out a little bit. So any tools, perhaps I can take a look at it. I think I might be able to fix this.
Oh, yes. One moment. And Betty kind of steps over kind of the door and goes inside, and you hear her kind of rummaging around, and she comes back with a set of just very basic tools that she'll hand to you. And she says, thank you so much. I will get the kettle on and prepare a plate of snacks while you all tend to the door, and then we can just sit down and over a nice cup of tea, talk about what happened here on the third night of this crime spree. And then she kind of like hurries off. You can hear her rummaging in the kitchen, water in a kettle on a.
Bobby's gonna follow. Keep his eye on the lady, see what she's up to. She's sneaking anything in those drinks.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she seems harmless, but you never know. Bobby's not the most trusting of people,
right?
So,
are you trying to be like sneaky about it at all, or are you just like, whatever? I'm just gonna follow.
I think I'm always trying to be sneaky. So yes, I think I'll be trying to be sneaky.
Why don't you then? Let's just see how much she notices you.
I just love that it's Bobby's like the mostly sneakiest scout ever.
Yep. It was obviously
Kat's giving out, effort awards. So maybe Bobby will get an A for effort.
I mean, I'm not biting mannequins, so I'm not drawing attention to myself that way. I've not punched a door down, so I'm sneakier than that. But probably not the sneakiest of characters.
Give me an agility test, and actually, I'm going to give you an extra level in this on this test because Betty is she's busying herself. There's a lot of noise probably coming from the door area as that's being worked on. Betty is, like very focused on finding whatever she has in her cabinet for tea and all of that. So she's not really paying attention. She's assumed you've all stayed at the front door. So.
Well, Bobby was trying really hard this time to be sneaky after embarrassing themselves on the path. So they've just done a 14 on the sneaks. About as sneaky as you can be.
Wow.
I'm not even sure anyone else even noticed me sneak out while they were looking at the door.
No one else knows that you've gone. Betty has no idea. You actually found like a little, she has like a nook kind of like in between, like almost like the cabinet and like the corner. Like the cabinet should fill the whole space, but for some reason it doesn't. And you've managed to like kind of like slip yourself in right there. So you're actually legitimately like hiding, but able to watch everything Betty is doing. And you can, while you're standing there, why don't you also give me a wits test just to see what you notice about the room or about Betty as she's going about. And while that's happening, let's come back over to the door. So you've just been, Kat, given some tools here. And
Anna can pick up the door pieces and like hold them together. And, Anna's looking at the door because it's right in front of her and trying to help Kat. Legitimately trying to help Kat.
Great.
Kat takes off her gloves, her metal gloves, so I can get a better look. Because I'm also fixing the door, but I'm also investigating just a little bit to kind of see what happened. Did something happen here at the door here? So taking my finger, kind of running it down the side, seeing, how things are split. Kind of hard now that Anna kind of lost some of the evidence there with the little, but I'm going to try our best to figure it out. And I ask, Anna's kind of looking at me like, what are you doing? Fix the door, And I'm like, getting on it. I'm like, so Anna, just hold this. I'm just going to take a look, see if it's going to fit. I take a look at some of the tools, but as I'm doing that, I'm investigating to see, if I can find any evidence. And it's hard to tell from what happened. I can't really find much else. So I ask Anna, to help me kind of shift the door toward the framing.
Yeah.
And yes, Anna is happy to do so, but it's quite the heavy door. I'm trying to help, because I gotta
I
show
got
that I'm
it.
pulling
I
my
got
team.
it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
doing great. And I use
Yeah.
one of the weird tools that are in this box that I've never seen before, but I got to look like I know what I'm doing. So
Mhm.
I use it to kind of hammer and turn and fix things in the doorway and cross my fingers that it is actually going to stay in place. And we kind of slowly step back and it doesn't seem to fall. I think I might have done it.
All right. Well, why don't we see whether or not how long it holds for? Give me an agility test. And since Anna, you are helping, so you can support. So another character can always add their support to another character's roll. And so for this means we will add 1 to Kat's ability level. Now if
rolling
anything,
3d6.
Yep, 3d6.
yes, 3d6, and this will increase your agility from 2 to 3. So you will discard the lowest value of what you roll.
So it's a total of 10.
Nice. So you both step back, you hold your breath, you wait a minute. Okay, yeah, that door is staying. You kind of go up, you like open it, you swing it open, you close it. You're like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
I think while they were opening and closing the door, they just kind of see like a wisp of Pukiyuki's like cloak, like
Mhm.
kind of turn the corner around, and he never actually went inside. And he's literally pantomiming what he think Bobby would look like trying to be stealthy. But just like out in the open and just kind of like talking to Bobby. And it's like, ooh, look, I'm Bobby Watchalot. I'm gonna sneak to the back big pink tree and see if I can find any.
Bobby's already disappeared, but shooting daggers from the little alcove that they're hiding in. Just like, what is this?
Yeah, and Pukiyuki still thinks maybe Bobby is like outside in the shadows, so he's kind of just talking to Bobby as if Bobby was
Like
there.
Bobby's
It's like,
there.
yeah, and I want to see like outside in that garden area by the pink tree if there was any like anything going on, any weird footprints or anything like that.
Yeah, so as you've come around that, that pink tree is takes you to where the back door of Betty's kitchen is. And if you will roll a wits test for me while you are there. And while this is happening, Bobby, why don't you tell us what your wits roll was as you were watching Betty?
Bobby sneaked into the little alcove. It's a little tighter than they would have liked. It's a bit uncomfortable, so they're a bit distracted. There's like a bolt like sticking in their back, so they were finding it hard to kind of concentrate. They had to push their resolve a little bit. They really wanted to see what was going on, but they were a bit uncomfortable. So they managed a 7 on the old.
A 7. Did you spend a resolve to
I did. That was me. That was me juicing the numbers. That's as high as I could get.
So you see that basically like the kitchen doesn't look particularly disturbed at all. The only thing really in this kitchen is that there's no back door. It has been smashed completely. Like you can't even repair this one, which is why she didn't ask. It's just like smashed. And you also see that everything seems pretty normal about how Betty is. She's found some scones in her cabinet. Oh yeah, and then she's kind of put together some. She's got some like crackers and meat and cheese. Like little like grown up Lunchables, like not quite charcuterie, but she's putting together a nice little like tea spread there, and she's the water, and she's like fixing her tea, and she's putting the kettle, and like everything seems pretty on the up and up with Betty as far as you can tell. And Pukiyuki, how did your roll go? As you're kind of on the other side of this, peeking into the open doorway kitchen.
Yeah, so I rolled an 11 plus my 3 wits, which is a 14. So I think I think it went really well. And then I don't know, I mean, woodsy is one of my drives, which I enjoy nature as fullest. And since I'm kind of in that garden area, would I be able to use that?
Oh, so we're saying that you have used, yeah, you've come around, you're enjoying the garden. Well, you haven't used, I'll say hold on to that. Because I think you should use that, something about enjoying nature, to help you achieve a specific task. And I'm not sure that quite applies in this scenario, in this exact context right here. And also for so for the wits, you don't actually add that number to it. So that's your level in terms of, so you roll your 3 dice, and then with your wits level of 3, that means that you discard the lowest value of the 3 dice that you rolled.
Okay. So yeah, it would just be an 11 then.
An 11. Brilliant. So you definitely, as you are though surrounded by nature, and that is letting you like tune in, almost in like, in a video game when you can like go into like stealth mode, and you can see the outlines of like other,
You mean like the way Bobby sees the world? Is that what?
Yeah, the way Bobby sees the world at
Yeah,
all
yeah,
times.
yeah.
Just outlines of characters through walls and things like standing out at you, and like you almost like the nature surrounding you almost gives you that kind of a vision, and you hone in for some reason on the pieces of the back door that are scattered about the floor or the ground there, as they had been busted out of their door frame is the word I'm looking for. And you look at how they were smashed to pieces, and you just know like this would take brute strength. Like the only person in your group who would even come close to being able to accomplish anything like this would be Anna. And you're not even sure that they could do it. It would take so much strength to splinter a door in this way. And you also notice there's actually a chunk of the door has the door handle still on it. And there are deep scratches, almost like claw marks in the door handle.
Okay.
And at that moment, yeah.
I was gonna say, I think I'm gonna take that and throw it in like a pocket of my cloak.
Okay.
And try to just rejoin the party as if nothing's happening, but also still narrating to Bobby like, I found an awesome broken door handle. This must what it'd be like to be like you, huh, Bobby? And he's just kind of looking around and trying to make eye contact, because usually sometimes like Pukiyuki looks around and like makes eye contact with Bobby, like that's a thing, but he can't find Bobby, but enters the front door, knocks on the front door with Anna and Kat, and like comes in.
And as you all come in, having just fixed the front door, right, perfect timing, as Betty is laying the tea snacks and the tea on the table, and says, oh, you fixed it. Thank you so much. Now, really, I feel much safer, and I never could have fixed that on my own. So thank you very much. Where's your 4th one?
And like Anna just immediately goes, so can I those up for grabs? Like
whilst Anna's saying that, Bobby just glides out of the alcove in the background and just like kind of leans against the one of the shelves in the background.
Yeah.
But he goes, oh,
Kat,
yes.
You want to get up in on this, grub? And yeah.
And Kat shakes her head, but kind of smiles to herself, knowing, we got to eat. They're just, everyone's just tired, hungry, and kind of funny at this point. So yeah, okay, let's get a little something. But let me just try it first, okay? Just to be sure. And Kat just reaches over, gives it a little smell, and then kind of licks it a little bit with her tongue, and then just takes a little nibble. Okay, it's good. It's good. Everybody, jump it. It's good.
Oh, please. And then as Bobby kind of goes by Betty, she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. For some reason, I didn't see you there, but I guess you were there all along.
I think
Bobby's just staring.
Bobby's just there.
Bobby's not a big speaker. People may have noted.
I think at that point, Pukiyuki realizes Bobby was not outside with him. And then like kind of just like clumsily tries to mimic exactly what Bobby just did, like come out of the dark and looks at Miss Betty as well.
Bobby's just looking at Pookie, just rolling their eyes, like, and then just glides over to the table and getting stuck in with some food.
Well, everyone, please enjoy. Now, I hope you don't mind. I'll just fill you in on everything while you're having your tea. As you can see, she gestures over to the wide open back door. This door was completely smashed and destroyed off of its hinges. I'd have to have a new door made, and that, she points to just like right next to the door. She says, that's where my bag of thorn apple pods was that got taken. And on this chair, and she kind of pats the chair where Kat is sitting. Says, this is where the lilac shawl was that got taken.
Kat kind of looks over and is like, okay, quizzical kind of look, but listening.
So with Anna's familiarity with the world of violence in a variety of forms, would she have a good sense of, like, you know, as she's scarfing down a scone, looking around and figuring like, does a light kind of click? Wait a minute, that door is fully smashed, but that door was just kind of cracked and, you know, it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So probably means, did like somebody try the front door and couldn't get through and then they came to the back? No, because the back door is really big and thick. So did they come in the back door, but then they were super tired, or like the thorn apple pods were super heavy and so they couldn't smash the front door open? Or is Anna just really consumed with the scones and has no clue?
I think you could probably like piece together that there was at least there was an attempt to, you know, maybe they were trying to like sneak in the front door and unintentionally sort of like slammed it behind them, and that kind of busted everything. And then as if almost they don't know their own strength. And then in the panic of getting caught, because as you know, Betty has told you, she heard the noises from the kitchen. She came downstairs just as something again was leaving. Perhaps in that panic of feeling like they were going to be caught, just didn't even try to be sneaky with the back door, just busted right through it and got out of there. And that's, I think you could like start to posit that maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, and I think Pukiyuki sees Anna kind of trying to calculate all this, and while Pukiyuki's kind of like taking scones and putting it into his little cloak pocket, you see like his staff on his back start glowing, and you see that the door handle with the scratches just kind of like slowly floats in front of Anna's face, and it's just kind of like floating there. And Pukiyuki's trying to communicate, kind of eating, and it's just like, Anna, there's I think somebody might be stronger than you. That's not what I'm saying. But door handle, look at this door handle. They did something with this door handle, and it just points over at the door.
Pukiyuki, I love it when you make things float, man. This is great. Yeah, so and I'll grab the handle and kind of look at it. And do the scratches look familiar to maybe anything seen at Prudence's?
Yeah, they definitely are different in the sense that these feel more like claw marks as opposed to like bite marks.
So then, you know, Anna took it out of the floating. You guys smell it? Gonna lick it a little. Does it smell and taste like the mannequin did?
I would say not exactly. It doesn't, not exactly the same. simply from the fact that one feels like a mouth was on it, and this feels like a mouth was not on it, if that makes sense. It doesn't, at the risk of being kind of gross, like there's like a spit smell from a mouth, like if you have a pet who's ever like licked themselves a bunch and then you pick them up and you're like, what? Oh, that's because you were just bathing yourself. You know what I'm talking about? That's gross. But so the doorknob doesn't have that. It doesn't feel like a mouth was used on it.
But maybe something like, maybe it feels like it familiar, like not the same, so it's not teeth marks, but maybe I don't know, man. This could be this could be like maybe what did the thing at Prudence's house.
Yeah, you suspect that, like, yeah, they could be absolutely related to each other. Yeah.
Bobby
And I'm
is
telling
like,
you, man, whatever it was, that door got busted good. Like, you're gonna need some more glue for that one for sure.
Bobby's been not really listening and just eating as fast as they can and drinking as fast as they can, and also filling their pockets as much as they can whilst everything else is going on. That's all they're working on right now.
And Anna's going, like, now that Anna's got a few calories in her, her brain is starting to, she's not the brightest thing. Let's be honest here. But, did Ms. Betty, did you say something about Junie baby having a farm? And like maybe the farm would have some more snacks?
Yes, Juniper Jones also actually encountered the thief on the first night all of this started. And so as soon as you're all done, I can take you over there and you can speak with Juniper.
Cat
And
jumps
he
up
might have
and
some snacks.
interrupts and says, I think that is a splendid idea, and encourages everybody to hastily finish their snacks so we can continue the journey.
Awesome.
Pookie
So
Yuki casually steal some herbs and stuff.
okay.
Oh, the old investigator robbery doing a bit of casual thievery. Bobby's watching Pookie Yuki, whatever they're up to. Again, there's a lot of eye rolling going on between these two, and it's mainly from Bobby towards Pookie Yuki.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, Pookie Yuki assumes that an eye roll from Bobby is like a thing of affection, and Pookie Yuki's just like
it's a little bit affectionate.
And Betty is so like just gathering items and like putting, dirty dishes and things in the sink to clean up later that she doesn't, won't make you roll for it or anything. She's not at all paying attention. So you're able to just take a few.
I just want a few
items.
dried herbs for my soup. Good
Okay.
soup.
Soup.
And then if you're all finished there, Betty will take you over to the farm that is on the let me see, where is my page for that? It's on the east end of the village. As you approach, it looks very normal, nothing out of the ordinary. It's not like, Betty's house where the doors are short, or Prudence's where, things were toppled over. It looks like basically nothing has happened here. And you are greeted as you approach by a burly figure in tattered overalls, a huge smile, dark curly hair. I mean, he's an enormous figure.
That's what I was like. I like it. I like it.
Basically, yes. Betty says, Juniper, Farmer Juniper, this is the adventuring group who is here to find our thief. And if you could be so kind as to maybe feed them a snack and share with them everything that you know, we would all appreciate it. And Juniper says, yes, I would be happy to share anything I know. What would you like? What would you like to know?
Cat jumps in, thrusts her hand out to shake vigorously. I'm Cat. I'm the leader of the group here, and just up and down. And then
Farmer Juniper.
Yes, nice to meet you. And
Yes,
kind of
and-
pulls
and
my
me
hand
too.
back quickly. And
Mhm.
I kind of give a summary. Like, there's some thievery going on. We were here to
Yes.
help out. We definitely
Mhm.
want to make sure we get to the bottom of this. What can you tell us? What has been happening here? And I kind of look at the rest of the group to be like, is there anything else you all want to add before we continue?
I think Pukiyuki's just laying on the ground because they can feel that it's very fertile and they are just
Mm.
connecting with the earth.
Yeah. So Juniper goes, well, yeah, yes, well, on the first night this all started, I guess I was the first victim of the thief. I came outside and I just noticed a barrel of bone meal in my shed was tipped over. And there were some large clumps of worm root that had been stolen from or just ripped out of my field. I just assumed it was local vandals. You know how kids are, especially in a small town. They get bored. There's not much to do, so I thought nothing of it. I just cleaned it all up. I'm sorry. I guess I disturbed the crime scene. That's what Prudence told me. I disturbed the crime scene, and I'm very sorry if that makes it harder for you to do your investigation. But I didn't know I should be worried. But then when Prudence was robbed the night after, I thought, oh, perhaps this is all related. And then the next night I heard the crash from Betty's home, and I ran over there, but the thief was gone, so I wasn't able to be much help. But I did see something.
Oh,
On my way back from Betty's home, I saw a shadow disappearing into the edge of the forest that's to the east of the village.
Bobby's eyes light up at the word shadow.
Pukiyuki darts up and just looks over at Bobby.
I mean, it was too big to be vandals. So again, I thought, well, that can't be our thief, but maybe I don't know. That's as much help as I can be. I'm sorry. Other than he now, like, he had a bag over his shoulder the whole time, and he's now kind of set the rucksack down and opened it up, and it's full of apples. And so he says, I guess I can help in this way. You could have an apple.
So Anna,
grabs
of
one.
course, grabs an apple for sure.
Pukiyuki grabs 10 just into the cloak.
Bobby's gonna pick one up and then get a little dagger out and just start taking the skin off the apple and just quietly just eating the apple.
Can Bobby peel an apple in one long spiral so the peel comes off in one long curly cube?
Yeah, I mean, but Bobby basically, whilst they collected the apple, they'd almost peeled it before they'd stood back up. It was just already the peel was already almost gone. It's a real talent.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. I've always tried to do that, but my hands I'm not the most dexterous. Good for working and building and farming, but not for small, delicate tasks like that.
So
That's
Anna's
very...
chomping down an apple and and she got a seed, got another seed. You got anything purple around here?
purple?
I don't know, purple seems to be a big thing in Brackwood. I should call it purple wood. I don't know.
Oh, no. Well, our wormwood leaf, you can see in the field there that it is it I guess you could say it has a purplish shade to it, but I guess that's the closest thing I have to anything purple. It's just the things that I grow.
Is the worm root close enough that I can just grab a handful of it?
You would need to walk. It's a little distance away, but it's close enough that you could walk right over and grab some of it.
So Anna's gonna walk over to the worm root and grab, just not respecting the field at all, but just grabbing a big fistful and smells it and bites it a little, and then is walking back to the group and then shoves it in Pukiyuki's face and is like, "What's this stuff?"
It looks like purple leaves.
Pukiyuki, if you will roll a smarts test, So you have a level 3 in that. So roll your 3 dice and then subtract the lower one and let me know what you get. Let's see what you know about Wormwood Leaf.
Another 11.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
So you know that this is typically used, Wormwood Leaf is typically used to brew liquor. But you would also know that it has a magical use, and that is that it wards against disease. And then you start thinking about all the other items. Bone meal is something else that Juniper said was stolen. And you know that that's typically used as fertilizer. That's probably why Juniper has it. But you also know, you remember that has a magical use too. It's used in summoning spells. And then you just start thinking about the other things that were stolen. I mean, you can't think of anything about like purple dress, lilac shawl. You don't know about that, but candles, I mean, those are used to create and illuminate summoning circles. And thorn apple pods, I mean, they're a cough remedy, but they also have a magical use. They're often used to awaken or revive in spells. And just this all kind of like slots together again, kind of in that like you know that meme of Winona Ryder looking confused and all the calculations. It's like that, except instead of being confused, they all like and like all of a sudden you're like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think as the words purple leaves comes out of Pookie Uki's mouth, they have this revelation, and it's like, Teeb, there was this one time when I was a teenager and I didn't know much about magic. And then he lists like all the items, and he's like, there might be some like evil afoot. Like evil.
Evil. I don't like how that sounds. So do you think you can stop it?
It really depends on what they're trying to summon. I was just trying to summon a little pet frog.
Oh, it sounds nice.
It became a snapping turtle, and I lost one of my fingers, but it's fine.
Oh, well. Evil. Then it is evil. What will you all do?
Well, I'm gonna punch it.
Bobby throws the apple they were eating up in the air and just throws a knife through it into a tree.
Cat pulls out their sword and kind of does one of these twirly things. I can take it. Swirls it around.
Farmer Juniper, you said that you saw a shadow going that way, and points towards, I guess, where they saw the forest.
Yes, into the forest. Do you really think that's related to all of this?
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't know. Looks over at Cat. Do I say yes, Cat?
I'm thinking yes, and I can lead the group to investigate. So I'm walking. Yes, I've taken out my sword at this point because I'm a little nervous. We're fighting something we don't know if we can see, but don't know if it's actually something we're fighting. Not really sure. But I want Anaconda to be like right up behind me. So I got a little bit of protection. I'm tough, and I'm telling them, I'm tough, but it's good to go in.
But
together.
you're not Anaconda tough. Come on.
Exactly.
Who is?
Exactly. I need the help.
As a group, you make your way to the outskirts of the village, to the edge of this dense forest. And that is where we'll take a short break before we go into chapter 2, where you are leaving the village and investigating the forest to see what you will find.